Hello. Welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today's show, we're going to be talking about budgeting. We're going to come from a slightly different angle. You see, many of us who come from humble beginnings, we thought, and then there's a few that still do, think that if you make $1 million, it's going to last forever. Well, the truth is, no matter what your income is, you need to be mindful on what you spend and how you spend. Look at most lottery winners and a few famous people. They'll lose their money, and many of them have also lost their homes. Why? Well, a number of reasons. Some of them have been conned out of it, but for the most part, it was due to lack of knowledge and discipline. They often do not form a budget. And let me tell you this, if you have a budget and you are conned out of your money, the blow is normally not as deep or as bad as someone who does not have a budget. Furthermore, an emergency fund is necessary at any income level that one may be in. Even those who are not frivolous spenders have to account for anything that's unexpected. You see, budgeting is not only necessary for when you decide to buy a home, it is necessary when you are trying to keep the home as well. You never know what life is going to throw at you. Let me give you some examples. As mentioned before, some of you may know, I had a sewage backup in my basement. That was totally unexpected. I was in a million years, I would have never thought that that was going to happen. Never dreamed that that happened. And yet it did happen. Now, at the time, yes, I did have insurance and my insurance did pay for it. But guess what they did? My insurance dropped me because they said that to fix the basement, the monthly, payments that I was making to them. So I was like, wow. I had to actually go and seek. New York State has like special insurance for homeowners. It's not really comprehensive at all. It's really just bare bones and basic. But I had to go and get that in the interim. Right after the sewage backup, right after like we cleaned it up and everything, we got hit by Hurricane Irene. And Hurricane Irene, first of all, hurricanes in New York City is not common. It's becoming more and more common, unfortunately. But Hurricane Irene was the storm that took we had a sunroof and it took that off completely. So unfortunately, I had to go and use money to replace that, because New York insurance, they just don't cover everything that's lost. Just letting you know right now. They'll cover like the main roof, but depending on how the sunroof is, they may cover part of it or they might not cover it at all. Just a little heads up. They may have changed, but at that particular time, that's how it was. So you see, if I didn't budget my money, I would have really been strapped and more stressed if I didn't have money to pay for that. And then the other thing that you'll be surprised that you need to do is that even after your mortgage is paid off, you still should have a budget. Here's why. Sometimes, many times, most people, they finish paying their mortgage off in, let's say, 20, 30 years. There are certain things in the house that need to be replaced at that time. Normally, one of those things is the boiler needs to be updated. They normally conk out at the 20-year period. Your electrical systems, sometimes your house might need to be rewired year 35. The next thing that goes up is your taxes, especially those of you who bought your home under a tax abatement. Those abatements normally last for about 10 years, and then after the 10th year, it goes up and up and up. So you see, that is why it's very important that you keep a budget. Now, for those of you who are flipping or doing gut rehabs, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to stick to a budget, but you should stick to one no matter what. And as a matter of fact, so that you can stay out of trouble or lessen the blow, you want to pad that budget in case anything goes wrong. Now, if you need assistance with creating a budget or sticking to a budget, you may contact a financial advisor or credit counselor. Listen, there are a lot of them that are free. Some you have to pay. And I will say this, normally the ones that you have to pay, they tend to be a little bit more advanced than those that are free, meaning they know more financial products than those that are free. But if you are on a limited budget, I say go with the free ones. When you go and visit them, make sure that you tell them the truth and you tell them the whole truth. Don't lie. Don't hold anything back. Why? Because you're really just hurting yourself. You're not hurting them. The budget is for you. It is not for them. Okay? And you want to progress and you want to be able to manage your money properly, you have to tell the truth when it comes to the numbers that you are writing down for your budget. I'm just going to give you sort of like a brief step by step for those of you who just want to get started. Okay, number one, this is what they're going to tell you to do, so I'm going to tell you. Write down your income, the income you make on your job, the income you make on your home, or any investments, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cryptocurrency, whatever. Write all of that down. Next, write down your expenses. Definitely do not lie or exaggerate in this area. Okay? Next, subtract your expenses from your income. Okay? What you want to do, if you see that that number is sort of small, prioritize and decide what is important when it comes to your expenses. Go over it. See what you can cut out completely or cut back on. For example, if you go out and party or go out to the bar every weekend, try to change that to once a month. Or if it's like so much into your system and you feel like you're getting a relapse if you don't go out and party or what have you, develop a system where you can use apps or the points on your credit card in order to go to these different places and get your discounts. Some of the apps that I use are Ritual, Seated, Fork, Groupon, Gold Star. Sometimes they have really great deals to a lot of wonderful events. Use that. Don't be ashamed. The next thing you want to do when it comes to other items, ask ask yourself, why do you want that item? For example, are you trying to impress others? And if the answer is yes, ask yourself, can those people that you're trying to impress give you a job? Do they put breath in your body to wake you up in the morning? Be careful with that. Check yourself, examine yourself. If they can't do those things, then I say, why buy that item? Just think a little bit more. Next, could it be that you suffer from the shiny object syndrome? There are some people that they love anything new, or they get excited when they see gadgets. That's me. First, I was somewhat of a clothes whore in the beginning. And then after I bought a home, I noticed that I just enjoyed buying all these tools. And I was saying to myself, since I took these classes to learn how to do a whole lot of things in the house, let me buy all these tools so that I can do it myself. But you know what happens? I felt like I was married to the house, or I was like a slave to the house. I spent so much time that I didn't really have enough time to go out and have fun. So I ended up hiring people to do the work that, to be honest, I didn't really care to do. Sometimes, yes, it's worth it to save money in that area, but sometimes, especially something that takes a long time to do, it's worth it to hire a professional to do it. Just work on the little things, meaning whatever. Put it this way. Me personally, screwdriver and wrench are the two things that I use the most. A lot of other things other tools that I have, like drills and what have you. A drill is good, but I really don't use it that much. Just hire someone that is good at that. You could even get your neighbor who might be good at that and let them fix a few things as opposed to you doing it, spending all this money on tools that just sit in a room that you never use. Yes, it's tax deductible, but still. Next, there are people, and this goes along with the shiny object syndrome to a certain extent, but then I've seen those who not only are they trying to keep up with the Joneses, but you have some people who want to be the Joneses. They got to be the first to have a swimming pool or a spa that does XYZ and has all these features on it. But if if you really can't afford it, or if it's going to strap you, you might want to just hold back on buying it. Or at least if you are the type of person where you just have to have it no matter what, it's just burning in you. Again, go to these discount sites. Go to your credit card's website. Buy it on that website. This way it adds points on your credit card, and then you can buy future things for free. Develop a system, basically. Another thing, when you're shopping, and this is for whether it's for the home or something else, know your numbers before you go into the store. And if you live with someone, the two of you, and you're going to go and buy something together or you're going to shop together, speak to one another before you get into the store, because some of these salespeople, they like to play, couples, family, whatever, one against the other in order to make that sale. Okay. Next thing to think about is that there are some people who really don't set boundaries, or they may be a little bit too helpful. Here's what I mean. I know people, especially coming from a foreign background, where they want to bring their whole family to the country, their whole family to the United States. So they'll let their relative live in their home for free, paying no bills, not contributing to the rent, not contributing to the mortgage, not buying the food, nothing. And that actually is an expense. And that is an expense that a lot of times people don't put down when it says list your expenses. And I want some of you who are doing this to really think. This has been my experience. Some people that you help, whether they're family members or friends that you know for a long time, sometimes they are appreciative. But you have a few who are not. Christmas will come. They don't send you a Christmas card. They don't even pick up the phone to say, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And as a matter of fact, there is a lawyer that I've worked with. She had a case where this cousin moved into, they moved in together, family member. The cousin was living there for free, not paying any rent, bills, not buying food, not doing laundry, nothing. They fell down in the house, and it wasn't even that big of a fall. It wasn't like they fell down the stairs or anything like that. And it wasn't really a detrimental fall, if you will, meaning they don't have a cast on their leg or anything. Do you know this same cousin that was living in the house for free turned around and sued the family member? So again, be careful of the people that you choose. And just because someone has the same skin color as you, or someone has the same blood as you, even those who have been around you for a long time, sometimes people get funny when you live with them. And if you do live with them, make sure you write down, when it says expenses, you write them down and write down how much they're eating how much food they're eating from you. And if you have to go out and do laundry or whatever, write that down as well. Okay? And that will definitely, all of these things that I've just mentioned will definitely help you put your budget together. It'll give you insight on how much you make and how much you're spending and what you can do. But of course, to fine-tune everything, yes, I believe that you should speak to a professional. I'm just giving you a few tips. And then lastly, after you do all of the things I've mentioned, after you visited a professional, review your budget often, especially if you're new. When you get to be about my age, someone who has done budgeting for many years, for almost going on 40 years, you almost don't even have to write it down. It's sort of like ingrained in you. But if you're new to this, and this is something that you're not used to as of yet, it helps to write it down and it helps to review it. It also helps to update it every so often. So, well, folks, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully, the information that I've shared will help you make smart financial moves. Remember, feel free to pass this along because each one teach one, reach one, and sometimes many. Anyway, bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.